You ever in the middle of a movie and your favorite character drops like the hardest line you've heard in a while?
Assemble.
Well, I got a bunch of life-changing quotes to share with you guys today. Let's get right into them. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Your life is in your control. I've been hearing way too many people whose fundamental message is that hard equals impossible. I believe that certain people have it harder than others, that certain people are luckier than others, and that life isn't fair. Of course that's true. But since when did you have it harder start to mean that since you have it harder, you should just give up because all your efforts are futile and instead you should just blame everyone else for all of your problems? When did those start to be the same thing? In my opinion, you really do only have two options. You can either blame the world for the problems in your life, or you can accept that life comes with challenges and never give up on trying to build yourself as a person and make yourself a better life. You don't always control the thoughts that come to your head, but you always control the ones that stay. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness of them. You'll likely change your mind an uncountable amount of times in your lifetime, and that's okay. That's how we change. It's how we evolve. If you get to the end of your life being the same person that you were at the beginning, that's a pretty sad thought to me. The measure of intelligence is your capacity to change. Alex Hormozy says that learning is same situation, new behavior, and that intelligence is rate of learning. So how quickly you can implement change in yourself is how intelligent you are. If you do the same thing in the same situation, you haven't learned. And if it takes you forever to notice that you need to change something and it takes you forever to implement that change, maybe you're not as smart as you think you are. All hope is not lost. What I like about those definitions is that you can actually improve both of those things. You can improve your intelligence and you can improve your learning. They aren't just stats that you're born with. If you can't decide, the answer is no. Anything that isn't yes, I want to do it is no. It's just no. Maybe is no. I'll think about it is no. Whether that's going out to the club with your friends or going on a date with someone, whatever. If you can't make up your mind, it's not a yes right now. And if it turns out that it should have been a yes, you'll learn because you're smart and you may say yes next time when it counts. If nothing matters, then you get to decide what matters. Use that power wisely. If you ask yourself why most of the things in your life matter, you might be surprised when your best answer is something like, oh, because everyone says it does, or because I think it does. Oh yeah? How do they know what matters? And how did you come to think that it matters? We are a bunch of monkeys living on a mud ball hurtling through space. How are any of us supposed to know what matters? Just do what matters to you. You get to decide. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. You can't complete something that you never start. You want to know one of the biggest predictors of success? Bias towards action. Simply being able to act. People who, instead of sitting around thinking about it, planning it, talking to people about it, being mad at themselves for not doing it, being mad at others who have done it, reading about it, watching videos about it, watching this video, instead of doing all of that stuff, just go and do it. That's bias towards action. Now, all the stuff I just said that is not going and doing it is still useful, 100%. It helps you to better do it, but you have to stop confusing doing all that stuff for actually doing the thing. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Dwelling on the past is one of the biggest disservices you can do for yourself. The past should serve you, not trap you. Like, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to invent a time machine and go back and fuck up the whole timeline? Didn't think so. So travel through time the direction that is useful to you and won't break the fucking universe. Forward.
Where? Back to the future!
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. You can go ahead and make any excuse you want about why you're not doing something you want to try. But I think one of the worst ones is it's too late. Do you want to know what's on the other side of the coin of this way of thinking? Tomorrow is a worse time to start than today. In all likelihood, you will never be as young as you are today. You will never have as much energy as you did today. You will never be as healthy as you were today or right now. So seize the moment and stop making the excuse that you should have done it earlier as a reason to not do it now. You either go after the life you want, or you settle for the life you got. Friendly reminder, nobody's gonna live your life for you. Nobody's gonna get that job for you. Nobody's gonna ask out that cute girl you've been wanting to ask out. Nobody's gonna go to the gym and get in shape for you. Go after the life you want, because nobody will go after it for you. I love this quote that everybody wants what you have, but nobody wants how you got it. Taking no risk is the biggest risk. You have to risk failure to succeed. You have to risk rejection to be accepted. And you have to risk heartbreak to love. If you're always avoiding risk, you're risking missing out on life. The highest risk activity in life is doing nothing. You might be safer, but by definition, if you do nothing, you are missing out on everything. If you're serious about changing your life, you will find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. For most people, to actually make meaningful change, they're gonna have to feel sufficiently motivated to do so. That comes by either having goals that are so important, you feel inside like there are no other options but for you to chase those goals and achieve them. Or your current situation is so incredibly unpleasant that you feel like there's no other option but for you to make a change. If you're in a life you don't like, but you are comfortable, that's a good recipe for dissatisfaction. So for most people, if you want to make meaningful change, you got to be chasing something or you got to be running away from something. The harder you are on yourself, the easier life will be on you. Assume the world is unchangeable. Assume that you are the only thing in the entire world that can change. It's not necessarily true, but living as if it is so useful because you'll get infinitely greater returns on your effort by trying to change yourself rather than trying to change the world. If you try to change the world and you're not that remarkable of a person, you probably won't get too far. Okay, so how do I become a remarkable person who can change the world? Oh, I have to change and work on myself. So either way, it's better to focus on changing and improving yourself because then you're more likely to become a person who can change the world. Truly failing is falling down and never getting up again. You have got one chance in this universe. Never forget that. I want you to internalize that to your very core every time you think about giving up. You gotta think to yourself, this is my only chance. It's all I got. I can't give up on myself because if I don't believe in myself, why should anyone else? It is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. That's not weakness, that's life. Captain Jean-Luc Picard from the Starship Enterprise comes in clutch with this one. Sometimes things won't go your way no matter what you do. Those times will teach you resilience. You just gotta be able to forgive yourself. Sometimes you may have played the perfect game, but there was no outcome where you came out on top. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. If you want more of this kind of content, go, I think it's here, wherever it is. Yeah, there maybe, I don't know. For a video about 40 life lessons to make your life 100% better. And we'll have another video like this coming out in the next week. See you in the next one.